Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, everybody in Cyberland. It's your favorite Babalao. At least I hope so. Omo doing Dileke. And coming at you. This one's for George, who came out with the sign Iwori Kana. Iwori Kana with his guardian being Oduduwa. Alright. This is a very beautiful sign. Very beautiful guardian. All right, but a couple of things that we have to remember when we're talking about Odua. And a couple of things we need to remember when we're talking about Iwori Kana. All right. Some of the things that I really want to make sure that we understand that Iwori Kana is a person who kind of goes head first into situations. Iwori Kana is somebody who has to, and hopefully Iwori Kana has already done this, but you got to get into the habit of thinking before you act. Because in Iwori Kana, your success lands in planning. Your success lands in doing things very methodical. For example, in Iwori Kana, your enemies are near you. Your enemies are in your inner circles. Your enemies at that point need to be discovered so you can remove them. All right? But that doesn't take an obvious look. It takes someone who takes a deeper thought process and a deeper look into the situation. So Iwori Kana has constantly got to be vigilant, constantly got to have good sight. Which brings me to my second point about Iwori Kana. Iwori Kana needs to take care of their eyes. And it's just not the eyes of the physical being, but the third eye itself. Because Iwori Kana, when you couple it together with Oduduwa, we're talking about the vision of Eguns. We're talking about the ability to dream or see or get that strong intuition, like that strong thought of, oh man, maybe I need to go do this, right? When you feel that, you need to just move with that intuition and go. However, remembering that you're still Iwori Kana, you got to plan things carefully. Hopefully that makes sense. So when you align yourself and you start to have that vision, you start to make sure you know who's around you, who's friend from foe, then at that point you can start to humble yourself, right? Still remaining vigilant, but now you need to humble yourself. Because in Iwori Kana, your patience can run thin pretty quickly. And what happens here is you become very disrespectful. And in Iwori Kana, you got to be careful about that. Because at the end of the day, you have to respect all religions. You got to respect people for who they are. And sometimes you cannot just speak what is on your mind without fully, again, processing it, planning it out, because you're going to have to be tactful on how you approach situations. Especially when it comes to, in Iwori Kana, we talk a lot about the family, right? Especially when it comes to the family, when it comes to if you have a daughter, if you have a wife, if you have a mom, a sister, a female. The females, you got to be very careful on how you approach them, and you got to be tactful about it, especially with their love lives. There's a lot of things that you're going to see because you're a Iwori Kana, and you're going to start to harness that ability to see things around you a little bit better for the betterment of you and others, but you got to learn how to approach the situation. So don't be so openly vocal about things, okay? Because of Oduduwa and because of Iwori Kana, it's very important, all right? It's very important that you align yourself with Osai and you get the stability and the prosperity of Olokun. Olokun and Oduduwa and that pack with the Eguns, there's a clear line of energy that's required there. You need to get with your godfather to make sure that you receive your sign, you receive your Olokun, in order for you to properly be aligned with all the energies that you need to do. But more importantly, Ogun has been defending you all your life. Iwori Kana talks about where Ogun is constantly coming to battle for Iwori Kana. So it's very important that the children of Iwori Kana take care of Ogun. Your special obras taught to your godfather that you can do for Ogun, specifically for your sign. There's obras specifically for your sign that you should be constantly doing. Iwori Kana, because you have to constantly have that third eye awoke, right? You should be doing head rogations more often than not. All right. Those are things you can do by yourself. You have to learn how to do them. It's very important, especially in this case. We're talking about Iwori Kana Babalao. All right. Um, because we talk about Iwori Kana and we talk about the third eye, and we talk about the perspective of just being woke and constantly thinking things out and planning things out. It's very important that you don't find yourself thinking too much where insomnia hits. Iwori Kana, in that sign, that's what people kind of suffer of insomnia and stuff like that, and you got to be careful about that. All right, you got to be very, very careful about that. Don't get yourself into any bad habits, drinking, smoking, stuff like that too, because that's going to affect the ability for you to walk your destiny and walk your sign the way you should. Iwori Kana, you could talk all day, but I wanted to kind of just give you the frosting on the cake of who Iwori Kana is, what Oduduwa. When we talk about Oduduwa, we talk about the Eguns. That's why it's important for you to understand who Olokun is and receive Olokun. And in Iwori Kana, you have some packs you need with the Eguns, where Osign is going to be introduced. Osign, more particularly in Osign, there's Abita, there's Osign, and there's some conflicts there, and I don't want to get too deep into that because it's a very controversial topic, but it's important for you to understand who that is. But it's more important as a Bawalao that you humble yourself and you take care of yourself and you take care of that is around you and know who's coming at you and who's not. So, with that said, without further ado, the Iwori Kana for you with Oduduwa. So, Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, Cyberland. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share. Tell me what you think. Shoot me an email. laregladeifa@gmail.com. La.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com.